Step into the Coliseum, everyone, because today we are entering the arena. Welcome to the Explainer. Imagine your computer system as a massive, ancient fortress. Now imagine that fortress is under a constant, relentless siege. Every single millisecond, automated bots and malicious actors are out there aggressively testing its gates. Today, we are mastering the art of defending that digital fortress, specifically focusing on the Cambridge AS and A-Level Computer Science 9618 syllabus. If you've been grappling with how to maximize your score on firewall protection questions, you are in exactly the right place. Only the prepared survive this exam. We see two types of students enter this arena all the time. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex overloads their answers with raw computer science facts, just dumping everything they know about packet filtering onto the page with absolutely no analysis. Then you have Sam. Sam is always rushing, completely missing the command word requirements and writing broad, sweeping statements. Both of them get destroyed by the mark scheme. We are going to make sure that doesn't happen to you by breaking down the examiner's mind and building a bulletproof strategy. Now, I want you to look at this number on the screen, 15%. Consider that for a second. Firewall and computer system protection questions account for approximately 15% of your total marks in paper 2. That is a massive, undeniable chunk of your overall score sitting in just one single topic area. Whether you've previously battled your way through the 0417, 0478, 0983, 0984, or 2210 syllabus, the 9618 exams are an entirely different beast. Mastering this 15% isn't just an optional bonus if you want to excel. It is a fundamental, non-negotiable necessity for securing top-tier results. It's the difference between a good grade and an elite grade. But this brings us to a critical question, right? Why does so many incredibly smart students lose these crucial marks? Like we mentioned earlier, look at our students Alex and Sam. The academic benchmarks for the syllabus demand logical, structured reasoning. The assessment framework explicitly prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Yet with so much weight given to this topic, students routinely stumble when tackling the multi-step calculations and method marks. It's not necessarily that Alex and Sam don't understand the fundamental concept of a firewall. They know what it is, but they struggle with how to prove that knowledge systematically on the actual exam paper. Sam will just write "firewalls block hackers," while Alex will write a 5-page essay on stateful inspection without actually answering the specific question asked. To fix those exact mistakes, we have an evidence-based battle plan for you today. Here is our agenda for this explainer. We've got Section 1, the top 3 examiner warnings. Section 2, the procedural framework. Section 3, critical analysis and evaluation. And finally, Section 4, the method mark strategy. We're going to break down these 4 logical steps to ensure you build an absolute powerhouse of a strategy for your exam. Okay, let's move right into our first section, top 3 examiner warnings. We are going straight to the source, the principal examiner reports, to understand exactly what is going wrong. To beat the exam, you need to know how the examiner thinks when they have their red pen in hand. And we are going to introduce you to the PAEL framework, Point, Evidence, Explanation, Link, which is the ultimate antidote to these common examiner warnings. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at Ace the Exams IGCSE, to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, so what are examiners repeatedly flagging? First, vague answers lacking specific technical details. This is Sam's classic mistake, writing broad overviews instead of the precise technical mechanics of a firewall. Second, forgetting to check boundary conditions and edge cases. In firewall algorithms, if you don't test the extremes, your analysis literally falls completely flat. The examiner needs to see that you've considered what happens at the absolute limits of the system. Finally, providing answers not specific to the question's context. This is where Alex fails. You cannot just regurgitate a memorized textbook definition. You have to apply your knowledge to the exact specific scenario the examiner just handed you. This brilliantly illustrates the difference between a superficial, generic answer and a contextualized, analytical one. I want you to play a game with me here. Imagine a 30-second timer on the screen. Look at a generic answer. A firewall filters incoming network traffic. Now look at a Peel framework answer. The firewall filters incoming traffic, point, specifically examining the IP headers from the newly installed branch office router's evidence. This ensures unauthorized external IP addresses are dropped before reaching the main database, explanation, directly securing the company's customer data as requested in the scenario, link. See the difference? The contextualized answer links directly to the prompt. You must avoid those generic, SAM-style answers at all costs if you want those top marks. Which brings us nicely to Section 2, the procedural framework. The transformation starts here. We are going to take those red pen marks and turn them into green check marks. How exactly should we construct our answers to guarantee success? Let's look at the exact step-by-step method that top-tier students use. This is what we call the computer science success blueprint. By following this standardized sequence, you guarantee logical reasoning. Step 1 is absolutely crucial. Deconstruct the question and extract the data. This means command word decoding. If the question says evaluate, you cannot just describe. Step 2, select the analytical framework, like our peel method. Step 3, execute with clear notation. Write your steps out cleanly. Step 4, verify your results and check for reasonableness. Does your firewall logic actually make sense in the real world? And step 5, present with correct terminology. Say packet inspection instead of looking at the data. Say unauthorized access instead of hackers getting in. If you were to sit down right now with a 60-second visual timer running and rewrite one of your old exam answers using just these 5 steps, I guarantee you would immediately spot where you dropped marks previously. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to at acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. All right, welcome back. So, under the intense pressure of an exam, recalling these exact procedural steps flawlessly can be incredibly tough. Your mind goes blank. That's why we recommend the visual story method. This is a powerful memory hack. You encode complex firewall concepts by creatively transforming procedural steps into a memorable logical narrative. Imagine the firewall as a literal bouncer at the door of an exclusive club. Visualizing the data flow, the packet filtering, and the stateful inspection mechanics as a vivid continuous story anchors that technical terminology in your brain. When the exam clock is ticking down, you don't panic. You just remember the story and the terminology naturally follows. Let's step up to the higher order assessment objectives now, with Section 3, Critical Analysis and Evaluation. This is where we separate the average students from the absolute gladiators. We are going to treat this section like an interactive workshop, so get ready to actively engage with the material. Okay, Challenge 1, Data Scan. Imagine a complex computer science chart on your screen with a 60-second visual countdown timer. You need to evaluate the algorithm quality for different firewall configurations. Your problem solving must systematically break down these 4 metrics. First, time complexity, meaning the execution speed of the firewall rules. How much latency does this add to the network? Second, space complexity, assessing the memory usage. Is this firewall going to consume all available RAM tracking packet states? Third, edge cases. What happens during extreme boundary testing? And finally, performance. What is the overall effect on the entire system? This matrix is your best friend. Challenge 2, find the flaw. If you see a sample paragraph that only talks about how fast the firewall is, but completely ignores memory usage, you know exactly where that student lost their marks. Systematically breaking down your evaluation through all 4 of these metrics proves your analytical depth. Furthermore, examiners love asking for a comparative analysis of different firewall approaches, like comparing packet filtering to proxy servers. Here is your checklist. You must identify similarities and differences. Don't just list them side by side in a vacuum. Use specific comparative connectives like whereas, conversely, or similarly. Support every single point with concrete evidence derived from the prompt. And finally, draw justified conclusions based on their relative importance. Here is Challenge 3. Speed writing. I want you to imagine a 30-second timer counting down right now. Your goal is to write one perfect peel paragraph comparing 2 firewalls using this exact checklist. It forces you to be concise, to use connectives, and to actually evaluate rather than just describe. Finally, let's uncover our last secret weapon. Section 4, the method mark strategy. This is the final piece of the system, and it's arguably your most vital technique for accumulating points and guaranteeing top marks, especially when you are dealing with complex multi-step logic problems. Because the assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth, you are heavily rewarded simply for proving your systematic processing. The method mark strategy means marks are rewarded for demonstrating your process and showing clear working out rather than just delivering the final answer. Examiners want to see your brain on the page. Even if your final firewall logic calculation or binary extraction is slightly off due to a silly early mistake, proving your logical processing steps clearly will salvage a massive amount of points. If you don't show your work, you get 0. If you show your work and get the end result wrong, you might still get 3 out of 4 marks. Always, always show your work. And this brings us to an explicit examiner alert directly from the source. Listen to this quote carefully. It is a literal goldmine. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. If you take away only one single thing from this entire explainer today, let it be this. Never write a generic textbook definition. Become the problem solver for the specific scenario described in your prompt. Every technical point you make about firewalls must connect back to that exact context. So,
I leave you with this question. How will you restructure your next practice answer to guarantee every single method mark? Remember our 3 rules: command word decoding, PL framework application, and managing your time properly. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here.